Sorry, I was just checking the audio and it wasn't working. So, first of all, hello people, how are you? How's it going? What's the story? What's the crack? Here I am, again, and this time, what I want to do is just do a bit of a summary of the rehearsals from today, that I've been watching them for all the countries. I wasn't able to stream them, but I watched each of the countries that were rehearsing today. So, let's start to comment all the rehearsals from today, the day 4 of rehearsals. So, as I was saying, today, day 4 of rehearsals, were the last countries of semi-final 2. So, what did we have today? Today we had Georgia, then we had Albania, Portugal, Bulgaria. Then it was a break, lunch break. And then in the evening session, afternoon session, we had Finland, Latvia, Switzerland, and Denmark. So these 8 countries did their rehearsals. Today they changed a few things on the online press center about how to watch the rehearsals. They changed you can change the quality of the video, and there were a few issues and a few buffering issues. For me, it was okay if I put it at 720p, but full high quality, I couldn't. I could for a couple of countries, and it got buffering, and it was a mess, and many people were complaining. But anyway, at least we asked for that, just to put whatever ratio we want, and they did it. Maybe they have to tweak a few things so we can get the highest quality again without buffering. I don't know what was the issue there. Anyway, first one, it was Georgia, as I said. So Georgia, before rehearsals, I liked him. I like Tornike Kipiani, but I didn't like the song much. Like, it's a song, but it gets a bit boring until the end. The end is fine for me. But then I watched the rehearsal today. The rehearsal is him on the stage alone with a white shirt. It's all very intimate. And after a few seconds, like, a big white box appears. So when he uses it for sitting down. So he sits on it. And then on the backdrop, the colors are kind of blue and white, more or less. And there's plenty of close-ups and camera changes, all about him, like him singing. And that's a good thing, because he transmits and you can feel what he's singing. Then there is a point that it was very nice when he sits on the box, and then it becomes dark. You can only see the shade of him, and there's the lyrics are not printed, but are projected on him, and you could read the lyrics on his body, and that was a really nice touch. I really like that. Then it turns, at the very end of the song, it turns to more, or I don't know, orangey, yellowish kind of backdrops, and I think it suits the song at the very end, and I think it elevates it a bit. But anyway, so it was a nice staging. I think it's a staging that it elevates the song, but the song is still the song that it is. But with this staging, well, it has more chances of being in the battle for qualifying. Before this, I wouldn't dare to say like he was like trying to fight for qualifying. But with this staging, yeah, it was fine. Like, it was up to the level that we have in the semi-final. Because that's another thing that I want to comment before going with the following country that I rehearsed, that it was Albania. It's like the high quality that we're having in the semi-final. Everybody was talking about semi-final 1, Bloodbath, but I think in the second semi-final, nobody expected these stagings and this high quality of all the contenders, or most of them. And I think it's going to be a bloodbath as well. We're going to have some surprises in this semi-final too, as well. So be careful with that. So as I was saying, following one was Albania. Albania, it's very elegant, I'd say. She was alone on the stage, no dancers, and it starts playing with on the backdrops there are some smoke, red smoke, and sometimes this green, blue type of color smoke as well. And he plays with the hands and creates a circle, blah blah blah. It's very nice. Visually, it's very nice, and since vocally she's really good, so she's giving all the energy. So I really like the performance of Albania. And at the very end of the song, they change and they give more light, more whites. And I don't know. I think it suits the song. I think it fits the song, and I think it's a good staging. Some people were saying, "Oh, Albania is gonna be in trouble for qualifying." I don't know. This was very solid. So she's winning points, and Albania is winning points for being in the final again. So why not? This was a very solid staging, and I really enjoyed it. Moving on to the following one. The following one, hi Nian, thanks. Yeah, I had no sound before. Yeah, I had some problems. I just read in the chat now. Sorry. Yeah, I read that many people had problems with that film. So following country is Portugal. Portugal started with a 4:3 framing, black and white, and then moves to a full frame, and blue colors is the style of it. It's very nice. It's actually very nice. It was one of my favorite stagings of the day. On the backdrops, when it goes to the full frame, there are some shapes of a virtual orchestra, let's say, and it really suits the song. He's vocally very, very good. They use very nicely as well the lateral LEDs, telling the story of the song of love is on my side, and there's like a woman walking like on the LEDs, like it's just a cartoon of a woman walking down the street, and it's very nice with orangey colors, very warm colors, and then in the backdrop you have like kind of hearts as well. I think it's very nice. I think it's very warming. You can feel what he's singing. He's singing perfectly. I think probably this is the country that I've seen that is more ready for the final, for the semi-final. Yeah, I don't know if they will qualify, sorry. But this staging is ready. Given the transitions, camera angles, they maybe need some few touches, but very, very few. I think this is the most ready song and the most ready staging that we had. And I must say that this is an elevation of the song, but brutally. Like, this is really, really good. I really like the staging. We have the thing with this semi-final is like two distinctive parts of the semi-final. We have the first part and we have the second part of the semi-final. And on this second part, it starts really a slow tempo songs, mellow, with Georgia, Albania, and Portugal, and then Bulgaria. So I think Portugal is the first one to say, okay, I don't know, he's transmitting everything. I really enjoy it. It creates an atmosphere that is very nice. I wasn't a very big fan of the song. I mean, I liked the song. I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't a very big fan. And now after watching this, I say, okay, this is good. And this is good. And I'm glad for Portugal. I'm glad that Portugal always brings these quality songs and they can see what other countries cannot see with this type of songs. And I'm glad that they are back and they are really good quality entry this year as well. Then, moving on to the following one. The following one is Bulgaria. Bulgaria, well, for me, I really like Victoria. I really like the Victoria type of singing, her voice and everything. So I might be a bit biased, but I think they created what they needed. I mean, they transmitted the intimacy that Victoria creates with her vocals, and I think it blends with the staging like perfectly. It starts, she appears, Victoria on a rock. It's a big rock, a orangey browny rock, quite big. And the atmosphere is you have this kind of lights that are very warm, like kind of a sand color, orangey color on the back. And then she's laying on the rock. She's wearing like a kind of, I don't know, like a brown blues or something strange like blue, but this gray blue, more or less. And then, I don't know, he's just a lot of close-ups of her, obviously. And then it starts widening out the cameras. You can see that she's playing with, there's a sand, I don't know, like a fountain, but of sand, that is sand coming through the stage, like very weird, like in a fountain. But it's nice, the effect. And she's touching it, so she's playing with it. Then she has also a photograph of her and her father. I don't know, it's very it's very sad actually. It's like a song. It's a very sad song, like, but it's very very beautiful, and you can feel what she's singing all the time. And then when it whites out, it's very nice as well because you can see the rock that is floating on the stage, and the stage is, well, it's obviously a LED, and on the stage there are whirls and waves of water, and then it starts the second half of the song. It starts on the backdrop. It's like shooting stars and stars falling, moving. I don't know. I think they did a pretty hell of a job, and I'm really happy because it was one of my favorite songs, and this staging is just perfect. For me, it was the best rehearsal and staging of the day. Okay, moving on. Then we stuck with these mellow, mild songs or ballads or powerful ballads like Albania to Finland. And with Finland, I was coming back to my young years of late 90s, early 2000s. This nu metal band, like the staging is very similar to the national finals. The colors are black and kind of white, some blue, and then it starts a lot of red, and it's very nice. The transition is very powerful. It's very active. It's like you are in a gig, in a concert, and you are enjoying it. So if you like this type of music, you are gonna like this performance. It's very frenetic. The realization is moving around. They are moving around. They are making pose in the middles. Then the backdrops is images of them upside down. Then the camera is rotating 360 degrees. So it's very frenetic. Then we had on the second round, we had pyro, we had fire, we had puffs. I don't know. It was really nice. You could see that they are transmitting the energy of the song, and they were singing really good. Like they were singing much better than in the national final actually, and I was happily surprised about that, because the only thing that put me a bit off of when they won the national final is that vocally they were not perfect, and on these runs they were totally perfect, and it was amazing. I don't know, I did listen to this type of music, and I still do, so I like them a lot, and I think it's a really nice song. I think maybe they have chances to qualify. I would vote for them if I could. It's a really nice upbeat rock entry. The energy at the end of the song, he makes like a guttural sound, like typical metal, and it just fits perfectly. So it's not for everybody, but I think it's in a way like it reminds me of, well, it's a bit more strong than Turkey with Mantra, but with Manga, sorry. But I don't know, it's this type of rock song that can stay with people, and people can vote for this. So I'm seeing good things from Finland. They did a good job, and I'm happy. Moving on to Latvia. Latvia probably was one of the staging that I didn't like much. I mean, she looked really nice on her green dress. The visuals are very professional and elegant. You could see like a grey smoke, a crown of hands, golden motifs, very visual. She's with 3 dancers, and they are with the Pisors as well. So it's very Samantatinas. The problem is that sometimes you feel like you lose the connection. I don't know, you feel that she's alone on the stage, you feel that something's missing. You don't get bored because there's a lot of things happening and the visuals are very, very impactful. But there's some point that you lose the thread of the story of the performance. So I think they have work to do. They can improve it. I think they can do better. I think that with improving the transitions and camera angles, maybe movement or something. I mean, I think they can do, and they can get there to the level that they want, because this was a bit way below all the others that I saw before. And then we have Switzerland. Switzerland was it was the favorites of the day. You could see that on the online press center in the rehearsal room. I think the record of people watching it, I think it was around 345 or 350, something like that. So everybody was eager to see Jon Steers. And it starts like he's on a kind of cubic white structure. I don't know, like a frame. I don't know, a bit weird. The backdrops are whitish. They play a lot with flash and strobes. It's kind of a contemporary artistic staging. He's moving on the frame. He's dancing a bit, making some movements. Camera follows him. But the thing is, the first run for me was horrible. The first run, many people did like it, but for me it was the one of the worst runs that I've seen. Like, they wasn't ready. The cameras, he was missing all the camera shots. There were transitions that there were nowhere. You could see sometimes the belly, then the black, then half of his face. So for me, it was horrible, like the production. But he was perfect. That's the thing that saves this run for me, was that he was perfect vocally, and it's a really complicated song vocally. It's very demanding, and he was amazing. So he's a really good singer. He has a really good song, and then they came up with a staging that is more artistic, and I mean, it's not bad, the going for that, because then you can differentiate with Duncan 2 years ago, because it's a kind of a similar stylish song. So they said, okay, we're going to bring something different and a staging that doesn't remind an intimate staging, like last winner of Eurovision. On the second run, the transitions were a bit better, and there were a few shots that I really liked. At the very end of the song, there's the structure is like it splits up in three, and he's on one of these columns, and then there are a few shots there when he's alone on one of the columns that are really nice and really enjoy that. But the thing is, still, I think it's not ready. Some people say it's perfect and this is gonna win. It might win. It might, because he's a really hell of a singer. He's a really competitive song, so it might win. But for me, it was not perfect. Like, maybe I demanded too much. But I don't think so. Like, I didn't need perfection. I need some coherence. And I was lost and I was distracted during these runs. Maybe I'm one of the few people that is saying this, but I don't know. For me, it was a bit of a letdown because I was distracted by the staging. With such an intimate and really nice song, I was distracted. And I don't know. That's what I felt anyway. That's my subjective point of view. They can improve. They improve the transitions, they improve the camera shots, angles, blah, blah, blah. They'll have a better product. I'm sure that many people won't like it because it's very artistical and conceptual, let's say. Many people won't understand it. I still don't understand the concept, even if visually it can be nice. Some people are comparing it with Christian Kostov's or Loic Notet. Yeah, the whites and the blacks. That's the only thing. The rest, I didn't see that, at least in this rehearsal. Maybe in the night of the semi-final, I see it again and say, okay, this is perfect, now I like it. But so far, as for today, I don't see that. Anyway, that's my thinking of Switzerland. But that doesn't mean that they have no chances to qualify. He'll qualify for sure, like by far, I think. Like, he has a really a good product and a package. It just needs... It's just the staging is very, I don't know... The staging is not something safe, and it's very risky. That sometimes is good, but in this case, I don't know, with such an intimate and such a good song, going for risky is going to pay off. Maybe it does. And maybe they get a really nice voting, both from jury and people, and televote. But we'll see, anyway. And last of the day were Denmark. Denmark is, they are wearing the same outfits and MGP. And guess what? What colors are the backdrops? Yes, are the grid of the pink grid, fuchsia and blue. Yeah, well, they were the colors before in the MGP. We could say that, but these are the last contenders that we're gonna see, and we've seen those colors all the time. So that's gonna be bad for them. Anyway, the song is a song that I don't like. There are some people that like this type of song, this 80s disco vibe, but in a more, I don't know. It's not for me. So it's something that I cannot judge, and I cannot say. The staging, yes, is very disco, but it's very a bit chaotic at some point because he's running the singer from one point to another. I don't know. There were things that I didn't understand. So for me, it was one of the worst stagings because it's not, maybe not the worst, but if you sum up with the song that is not very competitive to my taste. And that staging for me, yeah, probably the worst of the day. But that's my thinking anyway. So these were the 8 countries that rehearsed today. Which one would I get as not favorites, but in better position for qualifying of this of today? Then I'll do. I have to think with this on yesterday rehearsals, and I'll do a video as I did with the semi-final one contenders, with the ones I think are in better position for qualifying. But today's the ones my favorites from today were Bulgaria, Portugal, and Finland. Those were my favorites. I think the poll press that the ESC Extra is making, I think Switzerland won, then it was Bulgaria, and then it was Albania. I think those were the 3 winners of the press poll. So, okay, not Switzerland for me, but Bulgaria, Albania, yeah, I really enjoy them as well. So that's it. Tomorrow it starts the second rehearsal, so we'll see which countries have changed something. We have the full first semi-final countries tomorrow, so it's a really long day. I'll be streaming the last part from Belgium to Israel, Romania, Serbia, and Ukraine. Malta is not rehearsing tomorrow. It's the only country that is not rehearsing tomorrow from semi-final 1. And I'll be watching the rest, but I cannot stream the rest. But I'll be streaming the evening session, let's say, that it starts at 3:35 with Belgium. I'm eager to see what they are bringing, what they've changed, if they've improved the things that we saw in the first rehearsals. It's going to be nice because you as well, all the watchers can watch the snippets from Eurovision.tv that are going to be with the already produced, with the thing that with the video we're going to see live on TV already or the semi-final. So that's a good thing, and you get a better idea. These are 20 minutes rehearsals for each of the countries tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to read the chat. Did you say something? Anything? Something special? Well, not really. Ernie is asking if Switzerland have anything special for the big note at the end. It's just a matter of he's on this column, and he's laying on this column like standing up, and I think it's like in a close up as you could see, like, but it's nothing like very outstanding. It's just a close up of him, as I remember, on the column, like, and they changed that in the 2 runs that I saw. One was with light, the other was with less light. So they are testing what to do in that. But it's more like playing with the lights than something outstanding. Maybe they're I don't know, like hiding something and they're not doing it yet, and maybe they did for the semi-final. I don't know, maybe. But no, it was nothing like explosion or a big I don't know. No, it was following the thread of the concept of the whole song staging. Anyway, so I think nothing else. I think I don't have. Well, yeah, it's kind of like 3-dimensional Channel 4 logo from the UK. Yeah, actually it does. But the shots are not wide. You take that into account. The shots with the video production are not wide open. Most of them, there are a few, but most of them they are very close-ups, and they are changing the angles all the time. It's very chaotic as well, and it's sometimes, yeah, I think it's artsy, but sometimes that's why I'm distracted, because sometimes there is a sort of, 1/4 of the structure, and then until 1 or 2 seconds, you don't see Kion's appearing there because he's walking there, and they're doing that on purpose. Just he starts getting to the structure. So I don't know. There are a few shots that I didn't like, but maybe I get used to it and I end up liking it. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's all, guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll try, as I said, I'll try to upload later and do a video, edited video about what I think of this semi-final two are in better position for qualifying than they were before. And tomorrow I'll stream the last bit of the rehearsals. I'll do another summary. And then on Thursday, I'll stream the first rehearsals of the Big Five, because we have them on Thursday, and the Netherlands and the host. That I'm eager to see them as well, because many people are eager to see France and also Italy. So we'll see what they bring and if they are in the fight for the win as well. This is going to be a very tight year, I think. Unless things change a lot, that I don't think so for what I've seen. This is going to be a very competitive year, if not the most that I remember. So I'm happy with that. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Notification button so you see when I'm live and when I upload a new video. Please hit like, share it around, and see you on the next video. Bye guys.